Heyo, thank you for joining us. I am Macron. This is my buddy, Dirty Invincible, aka Jason. Uh, Here for session 9 of Tales from the Bloody Rift. We had a little had a little bit of problems last week, so I didn't end up doing it last week, but got back on track this week. So we are moving forward with this one. We'll start it out with last time on Tales from the Bloody Rift. Kayla and Sage landed on Cerberus, met up with Seth Haynes to talk about the cultists. Haynes working for the Hughes family, which is a Sagan Free Society family. They tasked with dealing with the engineering behind the terraforming of Cerberus. Seth let the group know that the cultists were holed up near in a nearby temple structure near the camp, and they saw frequent transports to and from the temple. Seth also provided us with information about a back entrance, so Kayla and Sage decided to start there. Upon arriving, Sage noticed that the temple looked much like temples they had on Planet Steve, which was the Yonar homeworld. Neither Sage nor Tim seemed to know much about them, though, so the group pressed on, kind of just exploring the structure. When coming to a large door, we tried everything we could to open it until Sage actually reached out and touched the door, and it came to life and opened for us. We went down another passageway that was very similar, and ended up finding another door that opened much the same way. Led into a room that seemed to be some kind of library or like a memorial structure. A lot of paintings and statues and whatnot in there. And while we were kind of distracted a little bit there, we got jumped by an alien, a four-armed alien who had a double-bladed sword that was very similar to the sword that Sage has been carrying around. After starting that fight up, Sage was kind of fighting the alien one-on-one there, and as that fight was going on, cultists came in and tried to attack us. So Kayla kept them distracted while Sage and the alien had it out. Not very well, but she kept them from interfering too much. After Sage got the upper hand with the alien, Tim kind of bonded a little bit with the symbiote, and they shared a vision and kind of cooled the alien down a bit and made him realize that we weren't enemies necessarily, or at least that we weren't there for him or the Essentia tech that he was guarding. Then Sage and the alien together turned and brought down the cultists, with the alien bringing two heads of cultists from around the corner we hadn't seen. They kind of run off. That's kind of where we are today. We haven't really talked to the alien or figured out what's going on yet, so that's kind of what's up next for today, I think. Jason, you want to do your vinaigrette? You dirty SOB?
Yeah. Okay. Axel and his team exit the shuttle in the spaceport town of Yomengandar. Yomengandar? Yeah.
It's a name you made up.
Jormungandr. It's the Midgard serpent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Yonar
Sure.
capital. Oh my god! Don't you know your Viking dragons?
I'm terrible with Viking dragons. You know
Okay.
that. You know that, Jason.
All right. On the port town of Jormungand. You know what I'm talking about. Giant worm. The Yonar capital planet. Yonar capital on the planet Steve. His crew hides among the tourists and riffraff of the town. It wasn't long ago that visitors were prohibited on Steve on punishment of death, but the last few generations have progressively become more welcoming of outsiders. The mystical aura surrounding this legendary clan wasn't enough to keep treasure hunters away in the past, though it certainly has become far easier for treasure hunters to ply their skills in the alien ruins far away from the Yonar settlements. Axel's crew waits until night to sneak out of the city. They've done runs like this before, but tonight they're going to hit one of the larger ruins deep in the forest. They approach the massive ziggurat-like structures. Vines, roots, and other foliage are overgrown everywhere, except for the structures themselves, as if being repelled by them. The team makes their way up the worn stone stairways to the top, where a dais is situated in the center. Behind the dais is a large portal. This is it, what they came for. The contact from the Order gave him explicit instructions on how to open the door and of the item they are to retrieve. The contact also injected him with some substance he said was necessary to use the staff he was given. He pulls out the staff, and it starts to activate. He makes his way to the door and waves the staff around in the sequence the contact had described. On each pass, a light burst forth from the corners of the doors, changing from red to green. As the sequence completed, the lights all flashed and then disappeared as an aperture opens, allowing Axel's team access to the interior of the ruins. The priority is for the artifact for the Order. They descend downstairs. Everything is as the Order described. Eventually, they find themselves in a large room filled with globes sitting on platforms that go on and on into the darkness of the chamber. Axel waves his staff over a control panel, but something is wrong. The dim lighting of the interior goes red and the hum starts to grow. It becomes more intense, and soon the ruins start to shake. They try to ascend the stairs from this chamber, but they have disappeared. Axel's team is trapped in the chamber, and the globes start to glow in a brilliant white light. Then there's nothing.
Ooh. Very nice. All right. I got a quick one for us today. A little bit of Kayla, a little touch of Kayla background. We open on a slightly younger Kayla, back on the scrap planet she called home for so many years, taking shots at cans set up on a fence about 20 feet away. The only thing consistent about her shooting was the missing. Her frustration, getting more visible by the moment, turned to embarrassment as she heard an old scratchy voice pipe up behind her. "Looks like you're going to need to rely on your words to get you out of situations and hope it doesn't come to guns," says an old man, tall and lean, hair peppered gray, leaning against the doorway of the shack Kayla had been living in. "You know I'm not a smooth talker, old man, and I've spent my life working on that. I figured it was time to try learning to shoot my way out of situations." The old man says, "You're not much of a smooth shooter either." "Fuck you," Kayla says in as loving a way as possible. Turns back around and dumps more blaster bolts into the cans. Alrighty. So, we are in an Essentia temple on Cerberus with an alien friend who also happens to have a symbiote and an extra set of arms and a double-bladed Essentia sword.
Yeah.
We just both worked. The three of us worked together to. I'm saying the three of us worked together to take out cultists because I did kill one of the cultists. One of them. Kayla's still not very good at shooting.
I've just got ranged sword throwing.
Huck that
which
sword.
actually turned out really well because it pinned some dude.
Right? It worked. It was a murder sword throw.
No.
So how are we? You and this alien guy had a moment because of Tim touching his symbiote, right?
Yep. Yep. Little mind meld type of thing.
One of those things where it's like more images than anything else because there's no common language, right?
And like intense, like picking up my
Oh,
emotion a little bit
emotions.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like this alien then is cautious but friendly at this point. Is that? Would you think that would be? We'll have to have some kind of conversation with him somehow, or her.
Yeah. Um,
How do you envision that working? You
are
thought about it.
they so they're what's that?
I said if you thought about it.
You know, I've thought about
Oh,
that.
I know you thought about that. I'm playing it up for the audience. Adland and whoever else that other person is that's watching.
um, do you want me to follow through all that, or how?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
Okay.
go through it.
All right. Yeah. So that the creature steps out of that hallway, and it's still holding that dual sided blade and in one set of arms, and the other arms has the heads of those cultists, and yeah,
A
it
peace
makes its
offering,
way.
maybe.
Yeah, drops them on the ground dismissively, like they're trash because they are.
Well, and he's been hunting as memory serves. He's been hunting these cultists for a little bit now. They've actually been
Yeah,
trying to
they're,
clear him out of the temple, right?
yeah,
And he's been doing the same to them.
yeah.
So I feel like he's got that
Uh,
swagger that like that that it's like that Vietnam War, the sergeant who's been in the shit for too long and welcoming the new recruit kind of swagger.
yes. So yeah, it deactivates its blade, sheathes it, whatnot. Um, Goes back to normal size. So I'd do that as well.
Kayla does that as well. She sheathes her sword.
Yeah. um, I pick up my sword from the impaled cultist that I lobbed it at. Then yeah, the creature's starts speaking to us, and his symbiote starts speaking, along the same time. All we hear from him is growls and whatnot, like rough kind of thing, and uh, also the chirps and the clicks of his symbiote is actually talking at the same time, and we can understand that. We understand Tim.
Kayla's got a enough of a grasp on the Tim language that she picks out some words, but she's kind of looking at Sage the whole time, just not quite not 100% up on her uh you know I don't know what that would be.
Zid.
Her Zid.
So yeah, it's a scaleless. If you're really here to get rid of this vermin infestation in the nesting complex, you must help seal all the entries and activate the automated defenses. I don't know how your kind was given these gifts, but you're clearly not working to trigger the harvest. Help me, and I will let you leave with your lives, so long as you promise never to return and unseal the nest again.
Kayla's like, okay, so I think I picked up. He doesn't see us as food. think I got that.
I
She
don't think he
is
means that kind of
she
harvest.
she is kind no no I totally get that. No, it's like her she has such a you know a what do you call it, a her understanding of the language is so juvenile that that's all she kind of, you know,
Yeah.
incorrectly is interpreting it herself, and she's a little bit scared by the fact that we just ran into an alien, seeing as how no one's ever really
An alien that
seen,
wants to harvest us. Yeah.
well, an alien that has the same kind of symbiote as you do, which makes me feel like, makes Kayla feel like Sage is clearly knows
I'm
what's
gonna,
going on here, even though we were both having trouble figuring out what's going on from the paintings, other than we saw the symbiotes.
Sage turns into a giant reptile.
Damn it, Sage! I didn't know you could do that.
No, he does not.
Sage, did you have these guys on your planet,
No,
and you trust him?
no,
Okay. Are we hearing him out?
maybe
What does
that
he
or
want?
kill him.
She asked for the cliff notes about what he wants. You tell her,
Uh,
I assume.
yeah,
She says,
I go over all that. Yeah, this is a nesting complex. He wants us to kill the cultists with him and seal up the temple.
"Well, it's great. We want to kill the cultists too." I don't think the Sagan Free Society really gives a shit about the temple.
Yeah,
Should
they
we?
want the cultists dead. He wants the cultists dead. I think this works out.
She covers her mouth. I'm gonna switch over to our other view here. She covers her mouth, and like from his view, like he can read her lips or something like that. And she goes, "Are are we going to tell him about the people that are going to terraform this place? Like, do you think that matters?"
Nah,
She nods. Goes, "Okay. So what did we? He wants us to help clear out the temple."
don't forget your momentum.
Oh, geez, yeah. Thank you, sir. Because good Lord knows I'm going to need it. Whew. Um.
That's okay. I've got high momentum and overpowered reroll.
Yeah. Right. I'm just going to stand behind you from now on. I'm not going to take the front anymore. uh, Kayla. Kayla kind of folds her arm and nods and kind of lets you guys go back to talking.
Uh, I think we ask him who he is.
Right?
We tell
Like,
him
what?
we
What
tell
is?
him we're only here to clear out the cultists. So, but who and what are you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's cool that our needs are aligned right now. But what like what kind of questions would Sage have? Other because Kayla is just like, where does this alien come from? What's going on with this temple? Because she doesn't know anything about the temples. Like you, at least, you didn't necessarily know. Sage didn't know what was going on with the temples, but at least knew that or saw similar ones on Steve, right?
Yeah, just from the outside too.
Just from the outside, yeah, yeah.
Didn't even
So like,
know that there was an inside to these things to begin with.
so it's well, yeah. So Kayla just is like totally lost though, and at least Sage seems to have some level of familiarity. Well, and that the having the symbiotes kind of talk to each other, or the symbiote language down. I guess Sage has a little bit of a leg up to there too.
Yeah.
So her questions would all be super basic. Uh, where do you come from? Why are you here? What's in this temple? Other than the fact that you said it was a hatchery.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, we ask those questions and Tim translates that into his chirps and squeaks and whatnot.
Do you think this guy has the full details on what goes on, like what the planet's for and all that stuff?
Yes.
Okay. So he's the one. He's going to be the exposition machine.
Yes. 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 So yeah, we ask him that. Tim squeaks, chirps, and his symbiote replies alongside him, saying, "I am Commander Shram of the Incani, or I was until the Essentia broke their promise to harvest my world, and I joined the rebellion." And he looks at us and goes, "Are you wounded?
Kayla has got
I
like a
cannot tell with your lack of scales."
Kayla's got like a blaster burn to the shoulder and one to her side, and she's like, "Yeah, a little. Yeah, just a little."
All
She
right,
points
he's
at
all
her injuries.
right. Come, Scaleless. I'll explain more on the way.
She,
Yeah.
she's as we're like following behind him, she kind of like leans over to Sage. So I mean, just to verify, he's not going to eat us, right? This is not a thing where we're going to die here. As we're not going in as food. This is not what's happening here.
I don't think so. Doesn't sound like he wants to eat us.
Okay, that's good. I don't know why, but it's a very strong concern of mine right now, especially since he brought it up first. she she says, still remembering incorrectly what he said because her understanding of the language is not great.
Yep.
The symbiote language. That's something she's going to work on, though. Or she, in her head, she's vowing to work on.
All right. So yeah, I guess so. Yeah, exposition time.
Yeah.
We
So we
we
get down like so like he takes us into a room, I assume, and then we kind of like maybe there's like back to tanks. Like, is that what we're thinking?
Yep, kind of. And on the way down there, you know, Tram explains the Essentia and that these are nests and the purpose of them, and what is called the harvest, um, and how his kind were loyal servants of the Essentia in exchange for not harvesting their planet, which they named Tridu. Tridu. I'm not sure. Um, that's what we know as Cerberus.
I was gonna say which very roughly translates to Dave, I believe, in English,
Yes.
or I guess
Um,
Galactic Common or whatever we're using.
so yeah. So yeah, he goes on to explain how they learned that they could harm and even kill the Essentia with their own weapons, which are the blades that we're wielding. Uh,
Technology we're given to protect them with is also the same
yeah.
technology we can use to destroy them.
Yep. And so yeah, the Essentia learned that the Incani learned of their weakness, so they quickly moved to replace them with new servants with significantly less powerful weapons. And so yeah, they the news of that betrayal spread throughout his people. Some remained loyal and fought alongside their masters, new pets. Uh, and though it wasn't going to be harvested, the planet ended up being devastated by the war that followed the giant civil war between them. Uh, they suffered, like everyone suffered huge losses. Even the Essentia suffered massive losses.
It was a big fight.
Uh, yeah, but nearly all the Incani were destroyed. And in the end, just a small group of the rebels managed to hold the nesting complexes on Cerberus or Tridu, whatever,
Treat
to Enkidu, um, to at least deny them of their of enforcements that they would need right then and there. So yeah, Shram explains that he was one of the loyalists up until the last minute. They were sent to activate the harvest, but as he stood on that dais of the entrance to the nest, he looked around and saw everything in shambles, his home world, and decided that he would seal the nest instead. And he returned to his crew, and his second in command tried to make the move to get rid of him and resume the harvest. So he fought back, and some joined him and turned rebel. But when that fight ended, it was only Shram that remained, and so yeah, he used the staff to smite their bodies and their ship, and discarded his weapons, and went on into the wild, going insane a little bit. Then he encountered some rebels in his wanderings, and after regaining his wits and talking with the rebels, they decided to secure each nesting site and hold themselves in stasis to guard each one until they can find a way to destroy their nests or die trying to prevent the harvest. And so yeah, Shram asks how Sage acquires the Zid and the Essentia blade, and Sage is, yeah, I just found the blade from cultists on our last job.
We got it from an
And
asshole.
yeah, and my people found the Zid and trained with them in the ruins on Steve. Steve. Um, yeah, and then I explain how the Zid taught us to become blade masters and passing on the knowledge from what they were calling the first warriors, which sound a lot like the Inkani. And yeah, Shram and his symbiote confirmed that they were the first people that the Essentia bonded the Zid to.
In your mind, was this knowledge held back from the Yonar? Was the kind of knowledge that I'm sorry, what is
I think it was
was
just
it?
lost knowledge. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, do you feel like the Essentia maybe learned their lesson from these aliens and decided to not you know keep keep the aliens as close, keep whatever the uh next like
Their next
keeper of the
henchman.
planet, yeah, their next henchman not as close to the truth of what was going to happen, so that they didn't have a similar situation.
Uh they don't have symbiotes. I don't think they were given symbiotes and whatnot. Are you asking that to the? Are you as Kayla
No,
asking that
I'm sorry,
to
that's
the
out of
alien or
character. That's a meta question.
meta question?
Meta question for the world, the building stuff. I feel like
No,
I feel like I
no,
feel
they're
like
not.
it'd probably be like the essential would probably be like this would have shaken their like this would have shaken their process that they had been going through, and basically taught them that, oh, okay, the next group of people, the next species that we use in the same way they use in these aliens, or
Yeah,
they use
they're
these
just
aliens.
they're not given those essential blades anymore. They're given
They're not.
shittier
Yeah, they're not
weapons.
given
And
any of the weapons. They're not let in on the technology or what was going on necessarily. They're just told that they're
they
guardians of this planet, and that's it. Not like,
no, they're just they're not even guardians of any particular planet. They're just the foot soldiers of the Essentia.
oh, okay.
And so yeah, they just replaced the role of these guys, the Inkani, but they yeah, they were just like you said. They did learn their lesson, gave them less weapons, but as their henchmen, they're going to see a lot of how the sausage is made, essentially. So
Well, I feel like maybe they would like instead of relying on a single species.
planets, like species, aren't they're not
Yeah.
told like what the harvest is and
Oh, okay.
stuff. 'Cause, yeah, the Essentia are.
They just hide more of what they do. They obviously can't hide everything, but they don't. They just proceed to not fill the people in the species, whatever the species are in
Yeah, they
on what's
definitely
happening with the
play
harvest.
their cards close, but um, they, yeah, I mean, there's only so much you keep secret, and
Yeah.
if yeah, um, but yeah, they're done with the symbiotes, done with the blades, Just like, okay, just give them shitty stuff and they can still do the job.
They can still be, the guardian
Effective
foot
enough,
soldier people, but not just never make them as powerful again, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, like each planet had their own species, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they would have their own um, their own people guarding all that shit. Not these henchmen guys. Like these are like literally just like foot soldiers. Like they're the guys that we're running into are guardians because they're rebels and are protecting these spots.
To try to keep the Essentia from actually doing committing to the harvest.
Yeah, but other planets, like it's they actively encourage those populace to like keep up everything and
Yeah, like Steve
yeah
prior to the harvest.
yeah.
Okay. So he's telling us this stuff, and Kayla's like, what, what's the harvest? What does this harvest mean? She's still not sure she understands. I mean, obviously, he hasn't gone into great detail about the harvest itself, just kind of giving us the heads up about what this was used for and all that stuff, but not like what the
Yeah,
harvest would be.
uh, yeah. So he tells them, that they harvest energy from nearby celestial power sources to power their nests over time. Once enough energy is gathered, um, gravitational anomalies occur, signaling that a nest is ripe for the harvest. And when the harvest is triggered, all the essential larvae or whatever they are consume all the nearby matter and energy and hatch into the adult essentia in a giant, violent explosion, destroying the planet in the process.
Kayla's like kind of listening to this and going and just mildly dumbfounded at it and says, "So, I mean, they need a big power source for something like that. You don't energy just doesn't come out of anywhere. Is that what the bloody rift is for?" She kind of like points up at the sky and does like mimes the circular bloody rift profile.
I don't know if he knows what you're talking about. Um, do we want to fate roll that?
Yeah. Let's see if he knows.
How long has he been sealed away? Was there a black hole in his time?
What? Oh yeah. So that might be a good one. I mean, I assume that there was a black hole in his time, just because if that's what they were using, I mean, I guess they could use the local star, but
It would be the star, the nearby star, but that might not be enough. Who knows?
so how? I mean, like, how long do you think he's been here?
Uh, that's a
Like,
good question. I don't know how much time would have passed.
because I think that would also inform whether or not there was a giant black hole nearby.
Yeah,
Uh, because I mean, they just don't just appear overnight. But
yeah. If they're naturally occurring black holes,
it's a good point.
who knows how the bloody rifted. Yeah, I don't have a good.
I had always assumed meta wise. I had always assumed that the bloody rift was going to be the source of power
Yeah,
for this change.
Yes,
Um,
I would say meta wise, yes, it's definitely regardless of whatever it was in the past, uh, whether it was a black hole or not. It certainly would have been like the main power
the main
source for
power
this thing.
source. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's see if
and
it
meta.
was. Do you? So okay. So I think it's probably likely that it was around when he was that it was around in a form that was recognizable when he was when his planet was actually populated. Does that sound about right?
Maybe we should go and say, does he understand that you're miming
Oh, okay.
the black hole? How about that?
Kayla is let's see. Actually, let's see what
These weird scaleless creatures making gestures with their appendages that are ugly looking and without scales. And the hell does this mean?
so what do you think that would be? Would that be like maybe like a gather information kind of thing? I don't know. Or do you think just roll an oracle check on it?
I think we just ask the oracle.
So Kayla's not good with the language or much at this point other than piloting. So I'm going to say it's I don't know, maybe it's a 50-50 shot that he understands.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
Okay. Uh,
Definitely doesn't understand it as the blood. I mean, like, I don't know if Tim can even translate the bloody rift, but understands that I'm pointing out a large celestial object nearby that is very obvious to
yeah,
anyone in the
he
sector.
says he doesn't know what exactly you're trying to symbolize except for a large celestial object, but yes, that would be it.
She says,
And okay, let's yeah,
"Who?
let's start off with 50-50 for if it was a uh, a stellar remnant yet in his lifetime. Um,
Do it to it."
I think it's been a long time, so maybe unlikely.
Okay. I mean, it would have had to been something, right? So he may not recognize it as a black hole, but maybe it was another star, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, how much distance is in the sector? Is this like a single star system, or are there multiple star systems in here? Like,
So that's what we'd kind of just gently talked about it in the beginning. I feel like well, especially because there's a black hole here. I feel like we would have crazy time dilation if we were really close to the black hole.
right?
Um, so it's probably a sector with multiple small star
Yeah.
systems with this black hole kind of like at the center of them. And we just happen to be in the one star system in the sector that is inhabited by humans. At least
Okay. Yeah.
to some degree.
Uh, I guess. Okay. Given that, I guess Shram says, you know, their star, their local star, wasn't going to be powerful enough to power the harvest, so they had to find something bigger.
Which makes sense too, because I think yeah, so yeah, Cerberus has a young star in a molecular cloud. Oh, I guess we're two separate. We can say these are two kind of separate star systems in the sector.
Yeah.
Cerberus and the one that uh, Arakoth is at, because Arakoth's has a neutron star. surrounded by intense magnetic fields. But Cerberus's is only a young star. Is still a young star, youngish star. So yeah, so it makes sense then. Okay, so if Cerberus's star wasn't going to be powerful enough, then there was some other celestial body that eventually turned into a black hole somehow.
Yeah.
Whether that was maybe that was part of the aborted hatching process.
Maybe.
Was that because we've got that space station out there nearer the Bloody Rift,
Right.
and they're kind of looking at it, well, and it's kind of an odd, black hole in the sense that it doesn't look like just an ordinary black hole with an accretion disk and a event horizon and whatnot. So sorry, all that is kind of meta. I'm sorry. So yeah, well, I'm just trying to set the parameters here so we know what we're talking about, or we know what we're asking. So okay, so he's basically like, well, I mean, yeah, the local star wasn't enough, so there was another celestial body nearby that was going to be used.
Yeah.
So Kayla's like, wait, so you said that they eat matter, or they're going to take up all the matter and be birthed in a great explosion of some kind. Is that is that supposed to annihilate the planet?
Yes. Growls Shram. And its symbiote chirps. Yes.
Kayla's like, she turns to Sage and is like, I feel like we should warn some people if they're going to try to live here. She turns to the other guy and is like, Shram is like, she turns to Shram but directs her questions at Tim to translate for her. She goes,
in his little beaker voice, me, 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 me.
Do you think it's still possible for the harvest to happen?
Yes.
That's why you're
why
so
I have to
protective of the
stop these
temple.
assholes.
Okay.
Whatever translates as assholes in Connie.
She goes, shit. Zid. So not only are the cultists after this, but Phoenix is after this too. Kayla is turning to Sage and is basically like, we can't. I feel like we have to let the, regardless of the fact that they ambushed us, I'll put that aside for right now because fuck them for that. But if they're going to try to terraform this planet and live here, we have to let Sagan Free Society know. But more importantly, Phoenix is interested in this planet for similar reasons as the cult is interested in this planet.
Does Tim think he's supposed to translate this?
Kayla's like, that's a good question because she didn't say anything. She was talking to Sage, thinking, we're talking to Sage, but yeah, Tim might be in like translate mode, just like, I'm just going to repeat the things I say.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah. How likely do you think it is that he?
It's Tim.
So it's pretty likely he's just rolling forward with the translating.
Yeah.
So did he translate this? Yep. Yeah, so I'm kind of like talking to Sage like, hey, we need to talk about this because there's some other stuff going on that this is beyond the just this guy in this temple. This is like this planet is in more danger at that point. And Tim translates all that. Do you
And
think? I feel like he would just respond with, "Well, then we'll stop every threat." That's the answer
pretty much.
because he doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't know the people we're talking about. He doesn't know the conflicts we've been dealing with.
It's like, there's more? Of course there's more.
There will always be more. That's why I'm here to protect the temple, probably.
Yeah. Already slaughtered hundreds of them up at the surface. Rah, 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 rah.
Kayla turns to Sage and Tim and is like, Tim, does he understand what terraforming is? Can you tell him what terraforming is?
Do we want him to know what terraforming is? Says Sage.
To Sage, Kayla says, if he's going to stay here and they're going to try to terraform the planet, God knows what they might trigger or do. God knows whether or not the terraforming would destroy the temple here or anything like that. Maybe you don't want to accidentally trigger something. I think we need to know as much as he knows about what the problems could come could come up. And also probably either we need to give him a heads up that there are people that are planning to live on this planet, probably regardless of what we have to say about that, or we have to fight him to clear space. And I'm kind of, all the people in this situation are assholes, so I'm okay with with filling in the alien on what's going on, so that maybe he can help us make a slightly more informed decision about what we should be doing here. Whether or not we need to stop them from terraforming. She's like, these Ascension don't sound like good people or good creatures. They sound like assholes. Much the same as the humans that we're dealing with, but more powerful. And so I don't know that I necessarily want like a whole bunch new ones running around after destroying another planet. Tim obviously is waiting on the translation for that one because Sage spoke up.
Yeah, do we tell them then?
Kayla's in favor of telling him. I think Kayla's concern is that even if we walk away and don't do something, this has the potential to be something devastating for this entire sector of space and potentially other areas of space if more of these essential things pop up and they're kind of assholes that eat planets, essentially.
How are the Sagan Free Society going to take this?
That's what Kayla is like. Is that a question you directly asked, or is that out of character?
Yep.
I'm sorry. That's correct.
Yeah,
Question. Kayla says, to tell you the truth, I think if we came to them with this, they wouldn't give a shit and they would just keep moving forward with whatever they're doing. These are not.
Even if it means their death.
I don't think they would believe us that it would mean their death. Like, these are not
True.
great learned scholars. These are people trying to eke out a homestead planet. And they found what they believe to be a good one but they don't quite realize that the well's poisoned. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe the terraforming would be fine. Like maybe it wouldn't. Maybe the terraforming might help and cover up some of the essential bullshit. But I mean, eventually down the road, the likelihood that it gets uncovered or that if it doesn't all get destroyed somehow in the terraforming, uh, which I doubt it. I mean, if it's big stone structures and electronics and all that stuff, like they're not going to nuke the surface. They're just terraforming. So
There's not really much left to nuke on the surface,
right.
except for these
Well,
temples.
yeah, I was gonna say these temples are the likelihood that these temples are going to be destroyed by anything they do in the terraforming is pretty low. Like if they're all organic material and stuff like that, maybe the terraforming would wipe it out.
I think even nukes would have no impact on these mystical alien
Well, especially
structures.
this one in particular is like set into the ground or it's covered by rock or something like that. It's not exactly like a a freestanding structure on the surface all by itself. It's kind of built. It's big
Yeah.
built structure that's at least partially subterranean.
Oh, they're all like this. Like, yeah.
So that's what. So Kayla is like essentially, like I, you know, I don't think the Sagan Free Society is going to necessarily believe us on our own merits. I think maybe we might need to either have them meet with this alien to actually prove something, or we need the alien to give us some information that might help us dissuade them from terraforming the planet. Or maybe we find another way to deal with the situation of the planet hatching. Maybe there's a way to. I mean, shit, Kayla says. No one's ever destroyed a black hole before, so it's not like we can, like, kill the power source, right?
Oh, can you destroy a black hole?
After the moment she looks up at Sage and she says, "Right?"
Can you?
I don't know. Can you? Out of character. I don't know.
I mean, out of character theoretically. I mean, black holes evaporate. I don't know what you would do to speed up the process of black hole evaporation.
Well, you said evaporation, which makes me think that we need fans and a heat source. Large fans and a heat source.
It certainly would be the opposite of adding more material to the black hole to make it bigger.
Okay, so we just need to starve this black hole out. We need to wait a couple of I don't know, maybe
Billions
a
and
few
billions,
billions of millennia,
billions, billions and billions of years. Yeah.
and then it'll be totally safe to habitate. So we'll let the Sagan Free Society know they just need to wait that long.
Well, yeah, the great heat death of the universe. It'll be gone for sure.
Oh, okay, sweet. Well, I mean, so here's the other side of it too. So Phoenix has some designs on what the cult is doing, but he's also not fully.
Let's say theoretically, spitballing here, you could control time, and you can make some kind of time cage around the black hole and speed up time inside that time cage.
Some kind of time Dyson sphere.
And then just, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay, so we just need to build the time cage around the black hole, and that's okay. I'm gonna write that vow up real quick. Hold up just a sec. Build time cage
that does not exist.
Develop time cage technology. Build time cage around black hole.
Speed up time in cage.
So I think out of character, this is what I'm trying to get at is, okay, so we need to. This isn't just a. This is kind of.
I'm sure the Essentia have something that will blow up a black hole.
Do you think that maybe Phoenix is trying to use that kind of energy transfer technology that they use for the hatching in a different way?
Yeah, maybe.
So like regardless of how we see it in character right now, maybe his use of it.
That's why his science facility poised next to it. Maybe he's studying how that works. Yeah.
And so maybe his use of it is going to be less nefarious than the than the Essentia, but we don't know exactly, other than the fact that we know him and the cult are kind of at odds about it. We don't know in character about what his plans are, or what he knows, or intends to do with any of this. So I feel like that's the crossroads we're at, though, is okay, I feel like Kayla would try to explain the situation as best to this guy she could, because we don't control any of the other parties involved in this. We're
Yeah.
we're just two lowly jagoffs doing their dirty work over and over again because we keep getting ambushed. um, but Kayla kind of wants to know. Kayla kind of wants to come up with the best way to handle this, because she obviously, she understands the fact that, if the Essentia are this bad, if they're dicks and they're harvesting worlds and stuff and lying to alien species about it, or at least keeping them in the dark, that they're not, like, the more of them being around isn't good, and no one, like, humans generally haven't seen the Essentia for the most part. Like, aren't they kind of like mythical creatures to us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Old gods, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Everything he said was just mind blowing.
So Kayla's like, so it's not good to have these guys around like this. So what do we do to what do we need from this creature to come up with a plan, a way forward, right? Or do we not? Do we just learn what we can from this creature, help him kill the cultists, and then go back to Sagan Free Society and go like, hey, you guys got alien problems. Planet is infested.
I like that one.
Okay.
From a simplistic Sage standpoint, that would be what he would probably vote for.
Kayla's okay with simplistic for now. This is all way brain explodey for her too, so.
Also, Sage is also just trying to deal with the massive meta unlock that the Essential blew up planets. His planet was blown up, and he, trying to put two and two together there.
Has he said anything about it yet?
Who, Sage?
Because he hasn't told me, right? He hasn't told Kayla that his planet was blown up.
The guy said it was destroyed, but I didn't exactly say it was blown up or something. I think.
So Kayla would then put two and two together and be like, wait, does she know? Has Sage talked about his planet much, or does he kind of keep it quiet?
I probably have kept it quiet a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So recently you mentioned that
he's gotten close to Kayla for sure, but she's still an outsider. That's a hard cultural thing for
Kayla
him
kind of
to get past still.
Oh yeah. So Kayla kind of will totally break the ice on that one. Just be like, wait a second. Essential below planets, these symbiotes are given to the protectors. What? Wait. Was your planet blown up by Essentia?
I don't know. What do they even look like? And I explain to everyone, like, I was on my way to join my mother on a hunt off world. My father was planet side when it happened. I had just said goodbye to him, and it exploded faster than I could realize what was happening. All of us scattered off in different directions and lost communication with each other. And when we returned, there wasn't anything left but just molten rock, rubble, and fire from some unknown ship that looked like a cuttlefish.
And
And
I feel like what's his name is nodding along. Yeah, that's pretty much what happens, man.
yeah, he says, "Yeah, you're describing the Urquacks. I don't know how to pronounce that. Urquacks? Sure. And it sounds like a failed harvest. Even if it did destroy your planet, that just may mean it was not ready for the harvest." So I ask him, are the Urquacks responsible for blowing my planet up? And then Shram says, not the Urquacks, the Essentia. Yes, but indirectly. That said, we don't know what could cause a premature harvest. I doubt it was the Urquacks. They are lowly soldiers and wouldn't be trusted with the harvest protocols. I ask, are these Essentia still out there? And he says, unfortunately. And they can be killed by these blades. Yes. And that's all I need to know, says Sage.
Kayla says, it's good to know we have a weapon to stop them at least. Kayla, while we're kind of talking to him, at some point, Kayla's kind of like asking him for like a data dump of anything he knows about the local systems. Just kind of like starts building out a map on her little like ARM computer thing. I'm assuming we have.
Are we adding planets? What's happening?
No. Well, I mean, she's getting information from him. Meta, we'll use that later. We can use that later if we need to, but she's just kind of trying to gather information from him about local stuff while he's in a chatty mood, so that we like have an idea. If anything comes up, we can dip into it and go like, oh, well, he mentioned. Kayla's very forward thinking when it comes to the meta. No, she's a pilot and a navigator, so like that's her shtick, right? So
yeah. Well, I was even thinking, like, does this mean that we're gonna have easy journeys, whatever it is, for the role, the move?
Maybe do you think there's information at the temple? Because like I feel like he wouldn't necessarily have it himself. He may have some general knowledge, and I think that's what she's kind of pumping him for, of like some planets in the area, but not maybe even within a couple of sectors, but not like he has a map like, oh, here's a map, but maybe there's something at the temple he knows where to get that kind of information, or the hatchery, I guess it is now. I mean, it's a temple still, but whatever. So maybe he can kind of help us get some info from the temple, or maybe he doesn't. He just, like I said, he just gives us some basic information. But I figure we can keep that in our back pocket for later, because that's not going to be super important until we deal with whatever the current situation is.
Sure, he does that.
Sweet. We plug our USB drive into the temple and download the map. Download the sector map. No,
you have to like fight with it though, and keep.
I mean, yeah, it's like
it
it's old, so like
it didn't fit that way. I gotta flip it.
The contacts are a little corroded, so you got to kind of wiggle it a little bit.
No matter which way you try first, you always got to flip it.
It's always the wrong side. It's hard to see what you don't.
They don't have USB-C in the future.
Yeah, the technology here is very backwards, so there's no USB-C. It's all AB. Okay, so the immediate threat is still the cultist. Yeah, Dark, exactly. So the immediate threat is still the cultists. Uh, I think. I mean, the Kayla would agree to help him kill the cultists. That's not a
Yeah.
hard sell. We already had to do that anyway. Um, so let's deal with the cultists and then figure our way out from there.
Yeah.
Maybe Stimmy will talk to us again. I was like, we got to find a friend here somewhere, right? Like, we have no one in this sector.
About the new guy
Which new guy?
from Sagan.
Oh, Hughes, the guy who's leading the family, or the guy we met on the planet?
Both.
Both.
We haven't burned those bridges yet.
Yeah, but I feel like that's still another guy. That's like another the Hughes guy is just another Phoenix, where it's like all he's looking for. He's got a very specific set of wants, and he doesn't seem too interested in people that aren't helping him with those wants. I guess the new guy is kind of cool. We could work him. He's an engineer, so probably a little smarter. Maybe we talk to him about it and be like,
Well, also the Hughes guy, to be fair to him, is also trying to keep Phoenix from acquiring more alien tech.
and also he was kind of forced into his position by the families. Like he was told to deal with us, not like he was like, oh, someone has to kill those people. So maybe we can lead into that a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we deal with the cultists,
Plus,
and then we have to.
if we do tell them about the threat, maybe and they do verify it, maybe that will get us points in their book. Maybe. Unless we roll bad with a match.
So I think okay, so I think we put a pin in the conversation about the terraforming for now, and we can bring that up later again with Sham here. Sham, that was his name, right?
Shram.
Shram. Thank you. So we okay. So he puts me in the back to tank while we're all doing this stuff. What let's see. This is gonna be like a healing move, right? There's a thing for it, right? Recover moves. Heal. I receive treatment from someone, not an ally.
Iron.
All right. Let's do this.
Ooh.
Oh my god. This fucking game, I swear to God. I swear to God. This is a miss with a match. Oh my god. Okay. I'm going to ask the Oracle, but we're not necessarily going with it. I think the most obvious situation here is that I get hurt because this is an alien healing thing. But I'm going to ask the Oracle and see if anything interesting pops up. Try that again real quick.
Why?
Well, because you face the consequences of an earlier choice is kind of meh. That's I feel like that's more of the same of So I feel like a let's see it doesn't help us, and while we're sitting here invested in the talking, it doesn't necessarily hurt me anymore, but it doesn't heal me at all. But while we're sitting here invested in the talking, the cultists find us in a way that doesn't trigger Shram or any of his, if he's got alarms or anything. I don't know if he has like the place booby trapped or whatever, but
Okay. Before you do that, let me get my rolls in.
whoa there, buddy. Don't you threaten me with a good time. Oh. All right, we're
Are
both
you
doing great today.
serious? Okay.
All right.
Um,
This is gonna hurt. Are you trying to? Were you trying to heal Tim?
no, it's trying to heal me.
Oh, you're trying to heal me. You. Oh, so I feel like that would have been an iron roll.
It's supposed to be whatever's lower of the two,
Oh, well, that's if you
right?
mend your own own wounds.
Oh,
So if you read the
okay.
list, receive treatment from someone not an
Yeah,
ally. It's plus
I missed
iron.
that. I
Mend.
missed that
It's
part.
okay. That means that you can roll that again. Oh, yeah, yeah. Roll it again. Whoops. Whoops. Darn.
Oh darn. Strong
Oh
hit.
darn.
Hey.
Oh darn. We are still learning the system, and we will abuse the crap out of the fact that we are still learning the system. Also, thank you, Dark. Fucked him. Agreed.
Oh, what?
I'm gonna get
What?
T-shirts made that say "fucked him."
All right. Okay. So, if you're wounded, clear the impact. Then okay, I'm not wounded. Okay. So, take or give through. Oh, I see.
You're wounded. Oh, you're. I'm sorry. Yes, I agree. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that wounded is actually a statement, a state, not a
Yeah.
not. Oh, I have damage taken. Okay.
Cool. And then there is Tim needs to have his roll too, because Tim is separate, I guess. Or no, I have to endure
Do you have a
stress.
you have a special thing for him?
Okay, yeah. Endure stress. Um,
Heyo. That heals Tim all the way up too, right? Because he was only down one, right?
yep.
Okay. Sweet. At least one of us fucking. Kayla's gonna die soon. I just feel it. Maybe I'll roll an alien.
Okay, so yeah, my heals are up.
So yeah,
Dudes
so it's
come
like
in and
it's because you had a symbiote. So it's like it totally it actually worked on you, but didn't work on me. And while we're all sitting here chatting it up, and we have him distracted, cultists maybe surround the area we're in.
I just imagine that the little healing pods are playing that Pokemon healing sound. Do 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 do. And I can pop out. So fresh and so clean.
Clean, clean.
Do 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 do.
So, how do we think this one's gonna go? What is? We're gonna have to enter the fray. How do we think this is going to go with the alien too? By the way, what's the plan for managing him? Do we want to include him and you together since you guys are both using symbiotes and you kind of have some kind of way of communicating? Maybe you and him work together, and Kayla's going to huddle in the back corner and try not to do anything or get hit.
I mean, I guess. How many? How much? How many more of the cultists are there?
So we said 5. We killed 5, and we said I think there were like 20 at any given
yeah,
point in time at the place, and they have a like a head like a what do you call that? They have a like a beachhead essentially at the other entrance to the temple. So they're probably still going to leave people behind. So this probably isn't the rest of the 15 cultists. But,
another group of 5.
well, I mean, it might even be a bigger group this time because they know they have an idea of where we're at, or at least where we were, and that something else was going on other than just that alien now. I assume the other cultists got a message back somehow.
Were there other cultists? I thought we wiped them out.
No, no, that's what I'm saying. Like they like sent a message or something like that
Oh,
while we were fighting because the two
oh,
went
fighting.
back into
Okay.
the hallway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's why they're here in the first place.
Yeah, that's why they probably were like, oh shit, there's more people now and the alien, and we know where they're at. And so they probably went to go find us and then followed the trail of blood and burned bits of Kayla. To find us slightly deeper in the lair of the alien slash the temple slash the hatchery.
Okay.
So I feel like we get surprised. I feel like this is going to be a difficult combat. Oops. Oh, let me make it on a not a. Let me edit it on not that screen. So I feel like this is going to be a difficult combat. This is oops. Kalen Sage. Okay. Sorry. I feel like this is going to be formidable because there's enough of them. I'm going to call this the next cultist fight. Fight, colon, the back to tanks. Oh, did that not save? It did not.
It did not.
Damn it. The next. Okay, there we go. I have to hit enter. 10 cultists interrupt our bathing while Kayla's wounds refuse to heal and Shram exposition dumps on us. We are surprised. Okay. So yeah, I feel like Kayla's going to be the least prepared for this. Especially since her wounds aren't healing and she's kind of getting a little worried about that.
So you plug in the
Um,
USB upside down.
she's like, why won't it go in? So let's see. Caught in a trap. So I feel like this healing area is probably pretty big. Probably similar in size to the I mean, maybe not as big as the memorial area because that kind of had big, huge murals and stuff like that. So maybe a little smaller than that, but like large enough that like like I don't know, like a regiment of troops might use this as a spot to heal up, right?
Uh,
Or do you
there
think it's
are
smaller than that?
four cylindrical pods in each corner, large enough to fit an Incani, and in the center is a larger pod with an odd-shaped opening wider at the top, like as if it's for Essentia.
Just big enough for an ascension penis, would you say?
When we arrived there, Shram said, "This one's for Essentia. Use these smaller pods instead. They're better,
They're better.
suited to our physiology."
They are better. Okay, so then that also means there's probably not a huge amount of cover in the room to either.
It's a sterile-looking room, pretty much smooth metallic surfaces. Yeah,
Okay.
clean room for healing. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely like something you would use for healing. So, how many do you think there's more than one obvious entrance?
No, there's the one.
Just the one. So we're backed into a corner essentially.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to hallway fight our way out of this. Jason, I'm gonna
Yeah.
need you to old boy this up, okay? Here's a hammer. The
Okay.
the hammer is your penis.
Oh God. Okay.
uh,
Um,
so I think you're gonna have to roll and enter the fray. I think we are caught in a trap.
wits.
And I think what's going to happen is you and the alien are going to both act together. Whether or not you act in unison, I'll leave that up to you. Or if you want
Sure.
some help with deciding what the alien's going to do, feel free to let me know. But I will, in general, leave that to you for right now, for at least this fight.
Yep.
And then I will enter the fray after you do, and I will probably be in a much more compromising position to begin with. Because of the miss with match. How many freaking times am I going to get a freaking miss and then a miss with a match? All right, do it, Jason. Oh, Jesus. I mean, we
That's
knew that
okay.
was going to happen, though, right? I mean, we knew that's roughly what was happening.
Yeah. Cool. I'm in a bad spot.
So I feel like they are kind of they took the time while we were talking to set up. So they've got kind of a little, maybe they had a little barricade around the corner, and they kind of brought it out right as they started firing at us.
Yeah. Okay. So, react under fire. Um, or I guess yeah, I'm just in a bad spot. Need to figure. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Well, yeah, you're in a bad
trap.
spot. So you can decide what to do next, like what your reaction to that is going to be.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to roll for the enter fray.
Oh, yeah, I can enter the fray too. Here. And then so I will also be rolling wits. Baby, sweet baby Jesus. I'm going to take in control on this.
You
I'm in
do
one of the
that.
tanks away from the door, away from the entryway. And as they come in firing, they're kind of firing at you and the alien, you and Tram, right off the bat. And
Yep.
so, even though I was the one that started this with the bad heal roll, uh, I'm also going to slip out of the tank and grab my guns and slide myself behind the tank in the middle of the room, and just kind of wait there for an opening. Although I probably should have just taken the momentum, but I'd rather be in control, given how bad being in a bad spot was last time for me.
Yeah. Okay. Um. So, getting fired upon, um, Shram and I pull out our blades in unison and take up almost same stance. Obviously, he's got extra arms and whatnot, but as similar as we can be. And it almost
As
looks
similar
like
as it
we're
can be with just 2 extra arms.
yeah, it's like we're synchronized doing it too.
You guys are doing. Are you guys gonna do the Dragon Ball Z dance and
No,
merge?
we're not. No, we're not going to do the fusion dance. Maybe. Anyways,
You're gonna pull a double Jedi is what I'm hearing, or a Jedi Padawan situation
yeah.
going on.
Yep. Okay. And we're going to react under fire and try to close in on them
Okay.
and dodge incoming fire by deflecting it with our blades and our symbiotes like we do
As you are
in
wont to do.
in unison. Uh, where's where? Let's say we attempt to get up right up in their faces.
Okay.
I guess this is getting back into position and not necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah, this would
Okay.
kind of be.
Edge.
Yeah, I feel like Edge would make sense.
We're using our symbiotes, so we get +1. And because I'm wielding my blade, I'm not in close quarters yet. Never mind. Never mind. I don't get the +1 from that. And it's edge, unfortunately. Ugh. Okay.
It's always Edge.
What's the? Do I add a bonus because we're both going in, doing this together in unison? Like,
I feel like the answer to that question is no. But I mean, I guess him being there would, especially since we're using you as both of.
yeah. Well, it's a weak hit, regardless. Avoid the worst of the danger, overcome the obstacle, but not without a cost. Make a suffer move. You stay in a bad spot. Suffer move.
I think just in general from here on out, I think getting a +1 because you have the alien working with you is totally legit. It wouldn't have helped here, obviously, but
Yeah.
so I feel like you guys maybe hurdle the little mini barricade that they had kind of put in place, but now you're in the middle of all of them.
So, because there's a lot of them, I'm sure one of them got a hit off on us. So
Yeah, like
that's my
there's a whole crowd of them, and you're kind of like you guys get into it, and like they just all these blaster bolts. Kayla's kind of looking around the tank, and all she can see are all these. It's like a porcupine of blaster bolts going off, hitting the walls around and getting deflected and whatnot. But just one gets through and taps you.
I'm gonna embrace the pain. Oh, I need to shake. I need to roll first. Uh, Okay, strong hit. Cool.
Nice.
I'm not wounded. Maybe, or do I? I'll take the momentum. Going up to 9. I embrace the pain.
+1 momentum.
Makes me angrier in the fight. Makes Tim angrier.
You're gonna start raging out. Get you and Shram both together. I feel your pain, and I will get angry. We're gonna go Super Saiyan now. Is this what?
Yeah.
Now we're Dragon Ball Zing it up. Now you guys are you guys gonna fusion dance now? Is that what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
Kayla's watching all of this. She is kind of trying to figure out what her best method of attack is going to be here, realizing that kind of taking them on head on last time was really bad for her. So she's going to attempt to she's going to let you guys kind of take the attention a little bit, and she's going to get closer to get better shots in when she can. So I'm gonna roll a gain ground with wits. Sweet baby Jesus. Okay, so
why does the game hate you?
Right? So she's behind that central tank, and you guys kind of go up and over the barrier, which is just a little ways into the hallway, kind of next to where the corner is, because they just kind of moved it into position while they started firing at us. So she's kind of rushing up to the mouth of the hallway. And as she's rushing up into the mouth of the hallway, some of the guys that are kind of fighting you see how hazardous it is behind the barricade now, and have like gone to jump over the barricade, but in doing so are watching where or basically see everything that she's doing, and kind of get down below the barricade to avoid being hit by you guys and unload on Kayla. Blaster bolts hitting the ground as she scrambles to the side and just barely makes it to the wall in time. But she is now in a bad spot and doesn't have any advantage. Plus, she's in her skivvies and she's got her pistols. That's all she's got.
Okay. So we're still in a bad spot.
Everyone's
I
in a bad spot.
believe Clash. I'm in a bad spot. Okay, yeah. Clash move. Now I get my bonus. Yeah. I'm in a bad spot and I'm fighting against foe at close quarters, so I'm gonna roll iron. Gonna add my Tim. Gonna add my Blade Master. Gonna add my Master, because I'm the Padawan here, I guess.
Yeah, you're you got to add Obi-Wan into your
Obi-Wan. Gotta add my Obi-Wan. Yep.
You got to Obi-Wan to when you're
Shram.
fighting
add my Shram, add my Tim, add my Blade. Yeah, let's go.
Please.
Oh
my god.
Yeah, nice. Yep. Do.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, our crazy unison goofiness, and we just rush in and
he goes high, you go low.
Yeah.
You're both twirling blades of death.
I think with a strong hit like that, we marked progress twice. I think that's 2 cultists down.
I agree completely. I think you probably pushed back a group of them and took out the ones that stumbled as you pushed them back.
Yep.
2 cultists hit the floor. Dead.
Oh, look, there's the exact number of boxes as there are cultists.
Right? That's convenient, right?
Very convenient. Okay.
Kayla is again taking a cue from what happened in the last gunfight and not being super happy with the outcome of it, is looking around for other options because she's not going to just step out in front of these guys with her pistols. She can hear that the fight kind of moved away from the barricade a little bit. At least it's a little farther away. She sees that there are these tanks that look like maybe batteries connected to these to the back to tanks. I'm just gonna keep calling them back to tanks.
Yeah.
That's what I called it in the progress thing. I don't know why I'm hesitant to call it that now, but
You're healing tanks, back to tanks, whatever you want to call them. Yeah.
so she sees these things like there's a bunch of them stood up, and there's like one like plugged into the back to tank near her in the corner. But there's a few of them sitting around, and they look like they're like either chemical tanks or batteries of some kind. They look like they have energy in them, and so she's figuring they might be explodey. So she's gonna drop one on the ground and just roll it into the hallway from a kind of an angle, kind of banking it in there, and then take a shot at it, hoping that it does something that doesn't kill anyone other than the cultists. So this is going to be a react under fire. Changing the plan. So it's going to be wits. Oof. This is bad because I'm setting myself up for damage on a failure on this one. All right, here we go. Oh, please, Lord, let this not be a terrible roll. God damn it. So
Uh,
she put some shots. She put some shots on the tank, and it blows up. But she's still in view of it because she had to blow it up. But at the same time, as the thing rolls around the corner, the guys that jumped over the barricade are like, "Oh shit!" and they jump back over the barricade onto the other side of the barricade, so they're back in cover and they don't really take any hit from this. Um, but it helps push them back a little bit, but also explodes in her face. So now she's going to make a suffer move. So she's going to take another health. Then she's going to try to resist using health. You are not wounded. You may lose momentum in exchange for 1 health. She will. She will actually lose the 1 momentum because she's not doing great with momentum anyway right now to get that 1 health back. So she basically, like, the thing blows up in her face, sprays shrapnel all over the place. Doesn't really kill the guys, but it pushes them back a little bit. So she gets a little bit of reprieve from them. But now she gets showered in shrapnel, and luckily nothing does any serious damage. But it was definitely a lesson to not. Maybe we don't blow these things up, huh? Maybe we don't use these things as makeshift grenades, huh? Huh? Maybe that.
it's a good idea. You know, it was clever and witty, but our
Right?
our
She
wits are low, so
she leaned a little too hard into the clever and witty, which she doesn't have.
it's still one more wit than me. Okay. So I'm in a good spot. I'm in a good spot.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in control.
You guys got in control, right? You were. Yeah, you had a strong hit. You overwhelmed the foe and are in control after murdering 2 of the cultists.
We do it again, but as a strike.
This time you go up, you go high, he goes low.
Yeah. There's my Tim.
Blades
There's
a
my Blade.
twirl.
There's my Shram. Yeah, we press our advantage and try and cut into the next closest ones with an amazing strong hit again.
You sweet Jesus. Thank God. Thank God you're rolling okay. I say okay, you're rolling really well. The dice just do not like Kayla. So again, I mean, so you got these cultists kind of like stumbling over each other to back up down the hallway because they're not equipped to handle these like twirling blades. They're all like carrying guns and stuff. They don't fight people that use swords. So this is kind of like this, especially this attack that you guys have been pressing is disconcerting to them and very much puts them off their game. They're tripping over each other trying to get away from you guys, and you guys are taking advantage of that, taking some heads while going at it.
Very much so.
Kayla is gonna. Kayla has no intention of using the tanks anymore, but she's gonna yell around the corner. I got dozens more where that came from. She goes, "Put down your weapons and maybe we can talk." Keep shooting to find out how much they hurt when they blow up in your face next time. So it's going to be another react under fire. In this case, she is where is it?
Them? Distracting?
Oh wait, maybe that wasn't what I was going for. Maybe.
Are you remaining stalwart against fear or temptation?
Maybe that's what she's put on a brave face. That's what she's doing. Oh, she. No, she's. Yeah, because she's trying to basically convince them to quit the fight without having to kill anyone because she's not very good at shooting at this point. So she is bluffing, but I think she's bluffing by trying to put on a brave face. And this is her like trying to find a way out that uses her strengths and not her weaknesses, right? So because she's bluffing, I get a +2 because I'm a scoundrel. And she's going to use heart for the roll. 2. And roll a heart and watch me get double tens, probably.
Okay.
So
well,
close to not being good. I am happy that it was a strong hit with a match. So I'm going to take 1 momentum. I'm now in control. And it was a match. I think at least the 2 guys that she was yelling at, they're between you and me. And you guys aren't focused on them, but they can see that there are dead cultists at your feet. I'm feeling like these guys maybe decide to surrender. I don't know what that looks like. What does that look like?
marking progress, but I don't know.
So there's nothing here for with a match on this in particular. Um, hmm. Okay, no, they don't surrender, but she can hear them talking amongst themselves now, and they're a little afraid of you guys. So I think that kind of just emboldens her maybe a bit
Yeah.
to take a stronger action next time, or maybe follow through on her threat in a way that isn't going to hurt her necessarily. But she can hear them basically like, "Oh, they're tearing them up behind us. We can't go in there. It's going to be it'll be a death trap, we can't get out because they're behind us." She can hear them like having a conversation about what their next steps are, and they seem pretty shaken by everything. That's what that looks like. Maybe they even decide to try to shoot it out, try to shoot their way out through you guys because you're not directly looking at them. But these are cultists. These aren't like, tacticians or extremely experienced soldiers, so are you still with me, Jason?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
I'm just figuring if I'll make this more exciting. Rather than me just like, yeah, we do another strike again. I mean, I can. Um, I don't want to get fancy.
Okay.
We're moving towards an objective, yeah.
So maybe instead of striking, maybe gain ground.
Yeah, I was gonna do gain ground with force, powering through or making a threat. Um,
Maybe you're not necessarily killing anyone, but you kind of bowl into them, uh, knocking more of them to the ground, and then basically calling them out, telling them to throw down their weapons or face death.
um, I think Shram does that, and it's lost in translation.
But the growling is fucking scary, right?
Yeah, and I I think that's nonsense. I think it's silly talk, and I'm going to. He is going to do the growling. I'm going to press the attack myself, and kind of get us in a uh, powering through.
Powering through.
The next two in front of us, um, while he makes a threat.
Do it.
Add my Tim. Add my Shram. Um, yeah, I think we. Yeah, no, we go for those that we're still focusing on, not the two that you were just talking about, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, the ones you. Oh yeah. You just keep pushing forward with the guys that you were the group that you were bowling over to begin with.
Yeah, Shram yells out, and I fly around them almost literally with incredible speed and try to sandwiched them between us.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's more. No, it's not really preparing it. Coordinating. It's definitely more coordinating a plan.
I think you guys are kind of in pursuit, right?
Yeah, edge would work.
I feel like
Yeah.
in pursuit or gaining leverage with force.
Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. Or more maneuvering, I guess, though.
Maneuvering.
I mean, so that's the rough part. He's making the threat. I'm repositioning.
I think
Uh,
focus on what you're doing,
focus on me. Yeah,
and
focus on
what
me.
he's doing is part of the bonus.
That makes more sense.
Jesus fucking
Strong
Christ.
hit. Okay, mark progress. Um,
And then I would just take the +1 on the next move because
yeah, I was gonna say I'll do that. Because I'm pretty almost maxed out with momentum.
yep. So Kayla hears them arguing about what to do and whether or not to push up against you guys because they don't want to get stuck in the healing room. They know it's a death trap. They know they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, but that they're a little less worried about about Kayla than they are worried about the two sword wielding crazies. One of which appears to be an alien that has a double bladed sword, and you know
Yeah, the two maniacs with the crazy swords are
are
taking the
definitely
point.
scarier at this point.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
Kayla's going to take advantage of that and move up to her side of the barricade that they built, and she's going to use a gain ground to do that. Oh my god, this is gonna hurt.
I guess since I marked progress, I took out the guy that I was going to position behind as I was. Yeah, I took his position basically.
Yeah, yeah.
I flew around the one guy and waffle stomped the other guy into the ground.
Oh,
Oof.
heyo! Thank you, Soy Punk, for the follow. Much appreciated. Okay, so Kayla's going to she's going to do a gain ground, try to get up against uh the barricade that these other two guys are at. Um, she's going to be kind of hiding, I guess. I'm gonna go. Oh no, wait. I feel like she's also maneuvering here. She's kind of she's. It's not that she's being stealthy about it. She's just taking advantage of them already being misdirected by you guys. So she's going to maneuver her way up to the barricade. Oh my god, I don't want to roll this. Oh, thank God. Hey,
It's that thing I just did.
dude, we got like a whole shit ton of matches today. All right. So she moves up nice and cool. She's going to go ahead and mark progress. Oops. Just do it here. And then she's going to take the +1 on her next move. She's going to kind of set herself up to just pop up over the top and just blap, 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 unload on these guys as they're still, you know, freaking out about what to do, whether or not they could get over towards you guys or if they should push back into the room. Okay. All right. So what's your plan from where you're at right now?
Um, Now that there's only the one guy, both Shram and I coordinate. I take out this one remaining guy that's standing between us. He'll turn around and head towards the guys that are between him and you,
Okay.
and then we'll both advance into our respective opponents in unison.
Remember, you have an extra +1 on this one.
Yep, yep, yep. Okay, my blade, my Tim, my Shram, my +1 from the thing. That's an ungodly amount of bonus. They're
Yeah,
gonna die.
they
They're
better.
gonna they're gonna die unless I have like a 1 and it's a match.
What's your bonus up to?
4.
4. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, it tried.
It really did. Okay. Yeah, we do that.
So
I turned the one guy into a mist of blood in front of me, and the Shram likewise steps into one of the remaining guys and
as
Shram
Shram
into them.
as Shram takes the head off a dude right in front of me,
Yeah.
Kayla pops up, puts her pistol to the backside of the guy's head, and says, if you want to live, you're going to put that gun down. And you're going to tell us how many of you assholes there are still left out at the front. She's going to take decisive action.
All right.
Because we're up to what, 8, I think, right? She's going to hope and pray that that's enough. Here we go. Oh, thank God. Okay. She takes +1 momentum. That's it. That's the end of the guys, right? He's the last one.
I mean, we kind of lost it with the boxes equaling cultists with some of those successes. So,
Oh, yeah. So maybe with that, the rest of them run off. The other ones that were on the other side of you had already been kind of backing away. Or do we want to continue taking those guys out where we're at right here?
you made a progress roll, though.
I did. But so the way so it says here that if any objectives remain, the fight continues, and the fight continues, you're in control. So I
What?
think
I
I
thought the
think
progress roll was to be like, okay, cool, yeah, you're done with that.
uh I guess. Wait.
Yeah, don't we mark this as complete now? And then we're like, okay,
We
dude, tell us how many of your friends are left, and the
we
remaining
don't have
ones.
to. So the objective I think is less like kill X number of people and more like stop the assault. I think was more like the objective
Yeah,
probably.
that's what I'm saying.
So
Like,
so making the progress roll is basically like, okay, well they've broken now. So yeah, let's say the guys you were facing off and just dropping, as you're dropping those guys, the other guys are just running. They decide they don't want a piece of this fight right here, right now. And this one guy is left behind with his gun dropped to the ground. Whether or not what's his name kills him or not, that's a whole other question. So The progress roll, I guess, doesn't necessarily need to end a fight. Because it says on a strong hit you prevail, take +1 momentum. If any objectives remain and the fight continues, you are in control. I think it's just
Yeah.
kind of the current, whatever the current situation is. So you could just make a progress roll with take decisive action, but I feel like we ended this situation. That's kind of confusing. I'm gonna have to read these rules again when we're
Yeah,
offline here.
that is bizarro. I don't like it.
I'm sure Adland is saying something. I'm just not looking at the thing. Later, Dark. Have a good night. So yeah, let's leave it at that then. Let's say okay, so this I made the progress roll. You had slaughtered a number of them already, and in the process of slaughtering them, the ones that weren't directly next to you all ran off. And what Shram came back and killed one of the guys in front of me, and I got the other one to drop his gun so that we can interrogate him maybe a bit.
Yeah, there's the one guy in front of you. If we're going to tick boxes being dudes, then one dude got away. We've got the remaining dude in custody, essentially. Detained or whatever.
There we go. That works for me. So I think that's where we stop it for now. I think that's a good place to kind of wait, and we can pick back up with interrogating this guy next week.
Sage goes, "Where is she?"
What is the other one? What's the other thing? He's, don't lie to me. Oh, okay. He's saying sub objectives of the main objective. Okay, so like, if we roll the progress on we had like sub objectives going.
Oh, okay.
And we did a progress roll if the main fight is still going, but we like it's like, oh, they had a mech show up and we have to fight the mech now, and the mech is a separate progress bar and all that kind of thing. Hey, Soypunk filling in there too. Thanks, man. Okay,
gotcha.
I got you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
We are this is essentially our first game. I've been playing another game of Starforged too, but this is the farthest one along, so we are still learning the system and appreciate all of the input because it's been very fun, but we are still learning. So yeah, so I think we're gonna put a pin in this guy for tonight then. I think our next goals to wrap this up a little bit. I think we made progress on taking out the cultists, on that vow to take out the cultists. I mean, we definitely made progress on that, right? Like,
oh yeah,
there's a number of dead cultists. I think that counts. So I'll mark progress on that. We didn't do anything, or did we make a connection with what's his name? No, we did not.
Oh yeah.
We should make an alien connection at some point. I feel like we should make a connection with him.
For sure, because I think it'd be nifty to have it depends.
Alien pal.
Just thinking out of character in the meta, like, is this guy gonna just seal up this temple again and just hide away until someone comes back, or
right?
Is he gonna be like permanently open and accessible to us coming back and be like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going? Long time no see. How's your dead planet?"
Exactly. Here, I was gonna drop this. The VODs are also up on YouTube here, I believe, is how you can get to that if you want to catch up on those. Really appreciate you dropping by and checking in. And yeah, we play roughly every Thursday. We take a week off every 3 or 4 weeks or so. So the next game, actually, I was going to ask you, Jason, are we good for the 14th?
Yeah, we're good for like another month.
Okay, cool. So we will be back playing session 10 on the 14th. We start up around. We try to start around 7:30 Pacific time, but usually it's sometime between 7:30 and 8:30 because we're not professionals at this. We are. It's a pickup game, and we both have other stuff that we do. So, but we'll be back then. Please feel free. I dropped a link to the YouTube channel. I tried to put the VODs up there as soon as I can. So this VOD should be up in a day or two. And thanks for joining us and hanging out, everyone. We really appreciate it, and look forward to continuing the adventures of Sage and Kayla in the Bloody Rift here. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We gotta do the last little thing. Hey,
Envision
Strong hit.
what we're gonna focus on next time, or what?
Yeah, we gotta envision what we're gonna focus on next time, which I believe is we're gonna interrogate this guy, get information on the rest of the cultists that are there, and hopefully they don't reinforce themselves while we are interrogating this guy. But there'll probably be reinforcements. It can't be easy. Can never make this easy, right? So that was the end session move. So we get to take one momentum.
Do.
Damn it, Sage. You and your 10. Thank you
Got
very
10
much
momentum.
for the follow and the donation. I
insane
really appreciate it,
rerolls.
man. And please, feel free to catch up on the VODs, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. And thank you very much, Jason, my buddy here, Dirty Invincible, for joining me in this. This has been a very fun game. Thank you, Adlin, for supporting us this whole time, too. Dark for stopping by. Hope everyone has a good night, and I will catch y'all later.
Bye, everyone.